Okay, so let's get started. So today we are going to start understand the Selenium. So as part of this, we are going to understand what is Selenium, why we need it, some of the version and suite of tools, how to set up Selenium, and some of the hands-on. So why to use Selenium? So here Selenium we use for the functional testing. Okay, simple. So if you want to test the functionality of the software, and if your software is web based then we can use Selenium. So manual testing is always a challenge, so for that we use Selenium because it's open source, it's free, it's compatible with all the operating system, it's compatible with all the browsers, and support multiple programming language. So these are the reasons we are using Selenium. Now, if you want to compare Selenium with its counterpart, which include HP, QTP, RFT, Test Complete, and Selenium. So if you see the in terms of license, is a free compared to all other are paid. Cost are pretty high, while Selenium is free. Customer support, community based. The only thing is like in Selenium, you need to have a very high coding skills actually. Whereas even though if you have a low coding skills, you can use HP, QTP, RFT, and Test Complete. And in terms of environment and language support, also if you see, Selenium supports wide, options actually. So what is Selenium? So again, yeah, Selenium is an open source tool that can automate almost any web browser and their functionality and stuff like that. So now, if you look at the in Selenium, Selenium we have a this we call it a suite. So Selenium, when you talk about the Selenium, you have a ID, you have a grid, you have a RC, and we have a web drivers. So these are the four softwares coming together, and you will find in the Selenium suite. If you look at the evolutions over the period of time, so in the Selenium version 1, ID was there, grid was there, and RC and WebDriver was there. But RC and WebDriver was merged into the WebDriver in version 2, and this continues. So Selenium version 3, we have a three major component: Selenium ID, Selenium Grid, and Selenium WebDriver. So that means today, as part of the sessions, I'll teach you what is ID, what is Grid, and what is a WebDriver. Okay, so in terms of supporting browser, almost all the browser is supported. And how does it work? So in this, I will, anyways, I'll discuss in some time. These are the programming languages which is supported. Today we'll try Java. Okay, so though it supports C Sharp, Ruby, Python, JavaScript, Perl, and PHP, but in this program we will use Java as a sample language and so on. Okay, so how to set up? So this I'll show you the demo anyways, and so okay, so. hmm. So out of three component which we have in Selenium, one is Selenium ID, second one is Selenium WebDriver, and third one is Grid. So right now I'm talking about the ID. So what is ID? So guys, when you say ID, do not get confused ID with some editor uh, here, like Eclipse or something, your notepad or something. No. So here ID means internet, development. You can say development environment, internet development environment. That means ID. When I say here ID is basically a plugin. Yes, ID is nothing but a plugins. But for where? For which place? Plugin for which place? So ID is basically a plugin which you can install in your browser. So sometimes you can call it a plugins or add-ons or extensions, depends on what browser you are using. So this is a ID. Okay. So let me go and show you some of the stuff. So here, let's say you want uh, plugin. So this is the Chrome, right? So here I go and search for Selenium. So this is extension Selenium. See here. So this is a ID. I mean, this is a plugin extension. Now this is installed in my case, but in your case, you will, you'll have to install it. So in this case, let's say you have to go for Chrome extension and you have to download it, something like this. So here you have to search for Selenium here, and here for me it's saying remove from Chrome, but here it will be add for your Chrome. So that is something. But the only thing is this is disabled, so I'm going to enable it. So this is ID. Okay. Are you able to understand that, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
All of you?
Rajesh, one question. So, is it going to be automation tools sessions today and tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selenium is automation testing tool, no?
Yeah, I work on Selenium. So, yeah, just wanted to skip it.
Yeah. So this is ID. So what is ID? This is a plugin for every browser. So you go for any browser, Chrome or Firefox or anything as such, you will install it. So that is the first thing. Now, what this ID can do? So this ID can help you uh, to whatever the, let's say you want to do the certain functionality testing for any website as such. For example, let's say I'm using one of the website for this today. Let's say this one, and I want to do some certain testing. Okay. So in this website, I want to see that okay, this keyword should be there, and something like that. So this keyword should be there or something like that. Just a simple test case. So I want that to be validated. So what we are going to do? So ID, using ID, we are going to run the manual test in the browser. ID will record those. So whatever we do, ID will record. That means what, in a simple way, if I say, if you enable ID in browser, and after that, when you log into any, when you browse to any website, ID will record that all of your activities and generate Selenium. Selenium means I'll show you that Selenium some of the instruction in some time. So it will record the session which generate a Selenium, and then that Selenium you can play multiple time to test that software. Okay. So in a simple way, if you want to say, ID is a recording your browsing sessions. Why? So you can replay multiple times, and in between the IDs you can put the conditions also. So now important things again, whatever you do, ID can record, it generates a Selenium you can play multiple. Now import here, what is Selenium? So Selenium, you'll have a combination of actions, assessors and assertions. Okay, what is actions? So like let's say during the recording of your uh, browser sessions, you click something, so it is basically actions, is considered to be actions. So click, hover, select, all these things is actions. Now assessors, what is assessors? So basically what happens, any website which you browse, okay, that websites, it's basically stored all this the what do you say, HTML values in a certain structure, and for example title, body, heading, some paragraph, all this thing, the whatever the HTML content. So it's stored in a certain variables database, that is called assessors, so which you can use as a variable later point of the time. So here one is actions. That means whatever you do on the website, that is called action. Whatever you do, I mean, the results is being stored in the assessors, and assertion is something whether you have it or not. That means assertions is something like to validate. For example, this website I am logging in, if it is there or not, or title of this page or there or not. So many things you can validate, and that is called assertion. Assertions also, you have three types. So I'll discuss about it. So Selenium will have actions, assessors, and assertions. Okay. Now this is a kind of Selenium. You will see that. So here, if you see the when you start recording the IDs, open. That means that the website which will get open, and it will click on the link called about, and then after that you will see that H3HA, you are clicking on it, and after followed by there's one more link you are, and left side you see click and wait, that's action. So there's so many actions are there right now, but those are the, like, you will understand because it's just a mouse operation. Whatever you do, click, double click, hover, pause, and all this release, these are the actions. In terms of assertions, again it's a three type, but here in this we you can see uh, assert, verify, and wait for. So these are the three types of assertions we have. So assert means what? So when you use assertion and the type is assert, then what will happen? Your If the condition is fail, your entire test is aborted. When instead of assert, if you use verify, then if it is fail, the test will continue. And here when you say wait for, that means it will wait for the command wait for some conditions to become true, and then it continue. So these are the three assertions which you have. So now let me show you the demo for it before going further. So right now let's say I'm using Windows Chrome. Okay, I have installed this ID and it's enabled just now. So if you click here, you will see this Selenium ID. Okay, look at this here. So this is ID, and record a new test in a new project, open an existing project, create a new project, close Selenium ID. So I'm going to create a new project, and this I'm going to name it DevOps School. Click OK. Done. Now this is the ID. You will see that. Now left side, if you see here, you have a multiple test. You can write this is the test one. You can rename it this test one, and you can create a more test type, by the way. So here you can create more test two. Okay, and this is a suite. So suite means multiple test cases. You can have it in a suits, and executing, if you are running, you will see that under executions. So here you can add plus, that means test or suite. Now if you see that here, this is a run all test cases. So you have a two only. So if you want to run all, or if you want to run the current one, test one, then you can do that here. Right side, if you follow, save button, recording button, which will start the recording of your browsing sessions, and here pause, breakpoint, and all. Command, target, and value. This is the area where Selenium will be stored. Selenium again, it is a combination of three things: uh, uh, actions, assessors, and assertions. Three things. Here you can see command, target, and values. Downside logs, whatever that it's pass, fail, and things like that, it will be sweet. Okay, so now let's start the recording, and you have to give the base project which you want to get started. So this is my base project, and here, and start the recording. So now the moment you click on the start the recording, ID will open up that website in a browser, and whatever you do on that browser, it will be recorded and creating all these Selenies. So see here. Now if I click on the education, recording is done. If I click on the experience, done. My interest, done. And finally, I am going to stop the recording. See, I clicked and click on few things, and then I stop the recording, because if I do, I will continue recording actually. Now this is the Selenium. Here you see, open that primary website, which is this one, and the size of the windows was this one, which I did not do that, automatically it came. And then click on this, this, and this. So this is the complete session of your recording. And after this, now you can store this project. I mean, you can do more recordings, but right now that is more than sufficient. And dot side it will be stored. Done. So guys, are you getting it, all of the stuff so far in terms of ID, how you can record your testing set sessions? All of you? Hello? Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you are audible, Raj.
Okay. So now you have a recordings. Now what you have to do, you have to play. So let me click on the play button. So that means play whatever I recorded, it will be played. So you see that play. So I open up my rajeshkumar.xyz, click, 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 and you see the logs here downside. Here everything is done. Okay. So this is something I recorded replay. The steps can be more longer, but I just show you at a high level. Now let me do one more time. So let me delete all this stuff. So delete, 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 and save it. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm going to record one more time, and this time I will add uh, assertions. We have three types of assertions, if you remember: verify, assert, and one more, wait for. If you remember, see, assert, assertion, verify, and wait for. Assert, which will fail if the test is aborted, right? Uh, I mean, sorry, assert fails, then test is aborted. So like that. So let me start the recording. So here, let me close, and then one more time. This I have to close this. Start. Now what I will do, I'll click on the skills. That's okay. I'll click on the education. That's okay. I'll click on the experience. That's okay. Now what I will do, I will select this content, okay, and right click. And here you see Selenium IDs, and here you see assert is here. And here I say check for the text, okay, text, okay. And after that, I will close this. See. So now what is happening? Opening the website. set window size, click here, click here, click here. Any of this link will be missing, it will show. Then click here, and here we are doing the assert, and assert this content should be there. If this content is not there, it will fail. So right now I just stop this and run this. See here, and test is passive because everything is same, but now I will change the text. Look at this, working as a principal DevOps architect. Principal DevOps, instead of architect I say engineer. This is not the right one, I changing this. So save this. Now here the this seventh step, it should fail because I'm validating it should be engineer, but in the right the website there is a architect. Now let me run this. See, run, and you see that seventh got failed. If you read this here, this is failed, assert failed. So this test cases is failed. Why? The logs you have an answer for it. Okay, so this is a way you can record. It will generate a Selenium. You can add assertions to validate something true and false. And one of the test cases you design in ID. Likewise, you will design more test cases, and then like this here, if you see, you have one test cases, two case, like that you have hundreds of test cases. You will design and validate your website, web-based application using Selenium ID. Did you understand that, all of you?
So Rajesh, one question. See, the assert statement, right? Like, is it every step you have to add? Like, can we add it in a bulk to any of these above steps, like all the four steps? Can we do that?
So here in ID, whatever I did during the recording, it recorded the session. If you do not do, it will not record the session. You can also add
No, no,
manually
no,
this.
no, 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 no. My question is different. See, like you added the assert statement for only the last line, right? So, like I have 10 test cases. In a bulk, can we put assert for all the test? Any of those 10 fails in assert?
Yes, yes, you can add it.
So,
So
like
this is
you have
just
to
a
do one by one, or is there a bulk way, like single bulk way you can do it?
so here I'll put it in this way. You can add as many as search statement. See here, this is a first click action. This is a search text. Okay, a search text, and assessors are all the data is stored in the IDs actually. So you can add as many assert actually, but here just for the display, I added one only one. You can, let's say, duplicate here, copy,
No, I understand
and
that one by one you can add, but my question is like you have 10 tests in a bulk. Can we put a single asset?
okay. So here you are saying you want to. Okay, I'm not able to understand your question. You are saying 10 asserts you want to put it up, but in one assert. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
No, see, every see understand the Selenium actually. So Selenium, it will representing as a one particular thing. It can be click or assert any on. So you can keep the 10 assert. Let's say you can copy and paste. You can do that. Just I'm doing that. So just for the sake of doing this, this you can add it more assert actually. That's not a problem. But in one assert, you want to validate 10 thing. That is something which I mean through ID you cannot do that. WebDriver you can do that here.
Okay. Oh, to WebDriver you can.
WebDriver is the next. Yeah, WebDriver is the next topic I'll teach you.
Okay, okay, got it. Thanks.
So basically, ID
Because
is very straightforward.
this way, you can't write a test case, right? Like every test there will be hundreds of test cases. Every test case you have to write a assert means that is too much of work.
And no, so here, I mean, we have a three modules. One is ID, the one which I'm covering. So basically, what we'll do, it will help you to record the session, generate a Selenium, and while you browse, and then based on that you can do a little bit of customization here and there and get it done, and you can play. But there are certain limitations we have in the IDs. So for that we have a WebDriver, which I'll talk about in next 5 minutes.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay guys, so this is way you will, now you can run as many times you want these test cases and in the browser, and it will give you the results, pass fail pass fail pass fail, whatever it is. Okay, so now this is called IDs. Now second component what you have is WebDriver. Okay, so what is a WebDriver? So guys, if you look at the IDs, there are certain limitations which we have. What limitation? So the limitation what you have is this IDs is specific to browser only. That means if you want to do certain testing in all three browsers, okay, then you have to have a three separate IDs and then run it. That is one thing. So here, whatever I did in the Chrome, you have to do similar thing in the Firefox also, another browser like Edge also. That is one thing. And same time, there's not lots of customizations you can do that. Logic building up, you cannot do that. And that is where the WebDriver has come. So what is a WebDriver? So in a simple way, if I say WebDriver is a kind of code which WebDriver is a code you write it in. For Selenium, Selenium is the one which you write a code, and the code you send to the Chrome, Firefox, or Edge. Okay, that's something which you have to understand this. So now how it works, let me help you to explain uh, this one, this one. So you have to understand this one very carefully, because WebDriver is the important one. ID was just for the playing around. Okay, so what is a WebDriver? So guys, here you write a code. Yes, in the testing also we have to write a code. Now this code you can write in Java or C++ or Ruby or different languages I showed you in the starting. But in this session we are talking about the Java. Now don't worry, for time being you just need to understand how it works. Probably that is more than sufficient until you are from the QA background or development background, but you need to understand how it works. So you write a code which will test this functionality. How do you write a code? I'll teach you. And then this code you send to the Selenium library. This is a library. This is called Selenium client libraries. Okay, this is nothing but a jar file. Okay, how do you get this jar file? I will show you this. So go to um, Selenium download. Just click on the download. This is the website, and you see here this is the Selenium client libraries. Okay, so this is for C plus, C sharp, and this is for Java. The version which you have, you can download 4.18. The recent release has happened in the file. So this is the library. It's a jar file if you download. So you have a code and then you have a Selenium jar file. This is the library. Now, where do I have it? So everything I keep it in this directory, and here I have a Selenium directory. See, and here this is the client. This is the jar file. Okay, and this is the downloaded. I downloaded from the internet, so it's there there for me. Okay, so now this is the code. I'll show you the code. Just give me a few seconds. And Selenium library. So what you do, this code which is written in different language, in our case Java, you send to the Selenium libraries, and Selenium libraries will send this code to driver. We have one driver. This is called WebDriver. Okay, this driver is IE, Edge, Firefox, and Chrome. So what is this? So this WebDriver is also executables, exe. In Windows, it's exe. Okay. So now next question is, okay, fine. How do we get this driver? Just put it in Google. Okay. Selenium WebDriver. But you have to specify this one. So download. Here it is. This is for Chrome. This is for Firefox. This is the Firefox. See here. So this is the version you can download. See, these are the Linux, Mac, Windows. This is us actually, Chrome driver. Okay. This is for Firefox. Here it is. So this is 32-bit. This is a mobile version. I think this will work for us also. So 64-bit also, because this is mobile version. Okay, so this is a web driver. It's exe file. Do I have it? Yes, I have it. Let me show you here. Chrome, this is exe. Firefox, this is the exe. I have just downloaded last time only. So guys, this is a code. This is a Selenium client libraries, and this is a driver. Did you understand so far? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, so now the important thing is the code you send it to the Selenium. Okay, Selenium. And Selenium will send that code to different browser, and this web drivers, and web drivers will make a call to your browser in your machine and run this code and give you the pass fail, pass fail, pass fail. So now using the web driver, basically you can run a code and automate more options actually. So this is called WebDriver architecture. So now in this whole most important thing is, did you download the Selenium? Yes. Did you download it? Yes. Did you download the WebDriver? Yes. Do you have a code? No, I don't have a code. So now question is, how do we get a code? Java code. So guys, if you need to learn Java for it and certain specifications for it. So in order to write a Selenium code for it. But because we have used the ID, that also can generate a Java code. Mind it. Can I go and check this? So look at my screen. This is the ID. Where is that ID? Close. Okay, I think it is closed, I guess. No problem. This is the one. So I'm going to generate a code. I have only one test cases right here. So can I generate a code? Let me generate a code. You see the dot 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 here, and you see export button, and here this whatever I did manually, I can convert into the code of C Sharp, Java, Python, and Ruby. Simple. So can I convert this? So Java JUnit export, and I want to show you this code. This is the one Java code. Here it is. And now we want to see this code. See here. Now this is the code which you have, Java code, and I have not written even one line of code, but it is generated by IDs. And what it was trying to test, let me see that here. See here. Understand the logic here. These all are importing libraries for Selenium. So this Selenium is this one. Okay. So in this code, all this Selenium you are calling, you see here, and here is your main code. So driver is here somewhere here, Chrome driver. Okay, and here you're saying, hey, open this website, set the size, window size for your browser, click on that area, one more click, one more click, and this time here you have a assert. Look at this, here you have assert. Same thing, whatever you did manually, generator Selenium is using IDs, now you have a Java code and doing the same thing. Are you understanding now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Yeah. Okay, so now you got the code also. Okay, this is the one of the way, but just for knowledge purpose, typically automation engineer write all this code, build thousands of test cases in a depth actually. But you don't need to go into that depth, but understand all these things. So you got the code, you got the Selenium, you got the this one web driver also, and the browser was already there in my laptop is there. So all this thing. So now what you need to do, run the code and rest of the things will happen. So how do we run this? So let me show you some example of the code which I'm having. So go for, this is the code, and here class file I will delete it. So here some of the Java code examples, Java code I'm having. See here what exactly doing. So this is importing all the libraries of Selenium, and here these are the variables. Okay, look at my screen very carefully. So the website which I'm going to test it is devopstrainer.in. Let me show you. So this is the website I'm going to test it. And now the variable one of which is the expected title. So expected title is this one. So what is the title right now in this page? So if you go to source, uh, this is the title. So title is home devopstrainer.in. Okay, so this is the title what you have. Now what I am expecting, it should be Rajesh Kumar, correct? Now so this is the variable. Actual title is just a holding variable, it will read that actual title from here and get it. So now here driver dot get. So driver, if you see, is somewhere defined. Where? Here it is. WebDriver is equal to new Firefox driver. This is a Firefox change. That means Firefox WebDriver I'm using. So here if you see Firefox WebDriver variables are there. This is the executable path if you see is here. So C tools Selenium WebDriver Firefox. Do we have this path? Let me check. Yeah, this is the correct one. So this is the correct path for the WebDriver. Okay, you can add a more web driver like a Chrome also. I have commented out this one for the demo. And here it's very simple code, very small code. If you look at this, here it says if actual title content equals to expected title, then you say test pass, else test failed. Very simple. And then close the browser. Very simple. Okay. So here what will happen? There's only one test cases. Here open up the devopstrainer.in, and if the actual title is equal to this one, then it's pass. If not, failed. Are you understanding, all of you? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what to do? So this is the one of the code I have to run it. So mass code you can run it using Maven, the one which I covered in the last session. I'm running only one code manually. So how do we run it? So this is the, if you want to run one code, you know that first you have to compile it using Javac. Then if you want to run it using Java. Okay. So this path is correct or not? Let me check first. Yeah, is that. It's correct. So I'm going to run this command. Java is installed in my machine. Okay. So that's not a problem. Go to the command line and run this. So this will convert the example1.java into class file binaries because Java is a compiled language. So here, this is the one. Now you need to run this code. So how do we run it? And this is the command will help you. And mind it, when you run this code, Firefox will open up. Firefox will browse the DevOps.in, try to validate the title and all stuff like that, and then give you the results. So here I just run and could not find. Okay, so there's a problem with uh, mm, let me check. Okay, so let me check and add a different library. There's a problem here. It says in this class file there is a some class we have used which is not found actually. So let me try adding this path. I'm adding separately, and this path I'm adding separately. Let me try this one. Yeah. So now it will open up for Firefox. Wait for it. See, Firefox open. It will browse the DevOps.trainer.in. It is doing. The code is running actually. The whatever the logic you written code, and it will do some testing, and output is you will be on the console. Now let's find out whether test is pass or fail. So if you see that little bit here, test failed. Why? Look at this logic. Test failed. Why? So test failed because what was the expected title? This one. And the real title was this one. So now what I'll do, I will change this expected as real. I will compile the code again, clear the screen. Compile the code again and then running one more time. And now I'm expecting this to be passed because whatever I'm validating is real. Done. Now let me see the test case passed or not. See, test passed. So now this is the code. You will write it and you will run hundreds of, right now I just run only one line, one code, Java code. But if you remember Maven and Gradle, you can run thousands of code in one directory, keeping it and then run it. That is how it can be done. So now did you understand that what is a WebDriver, all of you? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So now third component which we have in Selenium, that is called grid. So this component I would like to start with explanations, and Let's understand first this one. Great. Hmm. So guys, what is the problem? Let's understand the problem first. The problem with the WebDriver is see, WebDriver will help you to run your code in the 4 different browser same time in one machine. Remember that. You can run, let's understand in a simple way, thousands of code you have. Each code will contain one test cases. Okay. I will ask you these questions to you. You have thousands of code and one test cases will take, let's say, 1 minute. So if you run in the 3 browser, okay, so it will take 3 minutes to run one test cases. Correct? Agree with me? So if you run thousands of it, so it will take thousands of minutes. That means 3000 minutes. So if you want to test all the thousands of test cases in the 3 browser in one machine, it will take 3000 minutes. Agree with me, right? Hypothetical situation. All of you?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, can we reduce to 30 minutes? 3000 to 30 minutes. What need to be done? Can we reduce to 30 minutes? What need to be done? You suggest me something. Hello. Any idea? Any guess? Hello. Simple solution, bro. You should say, Rajesh, in one machine, if I run thousands of test cases in 3 browser, it is taking 3000 minutes. So if you want to run in 30 minutes, add 100 machines and run parallelly, and it will be done 30 minutes. Correct now? Agree? Instead of doing in one machine, do it in hundreds of machines. Simple solution.
But you require 100 machine, right? Like, that is a huge investment.
Yeah, of course, you have to find out the feedback in 30 minutes. 100 machines, you have to get it immediately. Correct? How do we configure it? That is a different case. We have a Terraform and Ansible session pending. But yes, you need it hundreds of machines. Why? Because 3000s, you cannot wait for 3000 minutes every testing, every run. So that on that context, what is grid? So guys, what will happen? Grid, you can call it a server also. Many people call it a Selenium server. Many people call it a grid. So what will happen? Here, understand this. You have a code, the one which I showed you. It can be hundreds of code. And here, if you look at my code very carefully, this is a local driver. Look at this. If you see, the driver which is we are setting up is a local one. Gecko driver, local one. It's in the same machine. But you know what? The code you will be sending to the remote driver. Yes, remote driver, and that this remote driver will be on the Selenium server. This is a server, Selenium server. These two. Okay. So now see here you are this sending the code not to your WebDriver, you are sending to the server in simple way remote driver. And now server we have one component which is called hub, and hub you have hundreds of machine attached to it, and each machines you have a Firefox, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Chrome, Edge, and here you have a WebDriver locally, the one which I set it up one for myself, and Firefox, Chrome, Edge. What will happen? So this code you send it to the remote driver which is on the server. Server will send it to the hub, and hub have a multiple pool of machines attached to it. This code will be sent, let's say, to this machine in that runtime, and this machine will run this and give you the output and whether it's a pass or fail. So likewise you have to send hundreds of code to Selenium hub, Selenium server, and Selenium hub based on their node availability they will keep running and sending it out. Did you understand that? All of you?
Yes.
So now what you need to do? So the code you have it already. The only you have to modify it towards the hub. This code should be sent to the server. So you need to have two things. You need to have a server, and you need to have the node which should be registered on the hub. These are the two things you need. Okay. So the question is, how can we set up a Selenium server or Selenium hub? So let's go and do that. So here if you come back in this directory, there is one folder, grid folder, and in this if you look at it little carefully, there is one software which is called, is a jar file by the way, Selenium server jar file. Now from where I downloaded, you know that answer. Download Selenium, enter, click here and locate for the grid. See here, this is the one version, latest one, and download it. It's just a jar file. See, you got it. It's an older version, I mean new version. I'm using this version, that's okay. Now the question is, how do I run this jar file? So I'll give you the command for it. How do we run it? And this is the command to run, this is the command to run as a server. You have to pass the flag which is called hub. Okay, Java should be installed, so that is a prerequisite. So let me run this. Now you got the server done. Where is running? You look at this here. It's running on the this port 4444. See here, started Selenium hub, and this is the website. Click on it. This is the server. See here. Right now, this is a server grid, the one which I was talking about in this picture. This is the grid which I am having it, or server. The code you have it, I'll show you that same code. This is the grid. Now here it's complaining, hey, there's no nodes registered. That means the real testing where it will be done, that is not there. So in the node, you should have a WebDriver plus browser. You should be having WebDriver and browser. WebDriver, the same setup which I did last time. So here you have just a session, running sessions. You will have it. It's a kind of queue, and you can see that, and so on. Are you understanding, all of you? All of you?
Yes, yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so now you got the server. Now we have to register the node in the server. How do we do that? Okay, so let me do that also. I have this. Okay, so how do we do that? So by the way, node also you need a same jar file, but the flag will change. Okay, so let me show you. Here it is. Look at this. If you run this flag, same jar file in a different machine and run in the node mode, that machine will become a node. But by default, if you run in the same machine, it will look for the same IP address. But if you think that your grid is something different, so you have to specify separately. But right now that's okay because both are in same machine. So now I'm going to open up a command line, and this is the node I'm starting it. Automatically it will be registering to the same server because both are in the same machine. Okay, there is a problem. What is the problem? It says no driver has been configured. It's a warning, by the way. Jar file problem. So let me use this command. So here, this is the file node.json. I'm hard coding actually. Clear the screen. And there is a problem. Hmm. What is this problem? Okay, sorry, my bad. Just a second. The jar file should be, but this was last one was correct, right? Role node hub register seems to be good. Let me check. Clear the screen, enter. So there's a problem. The command for this version is not working. So just let me try until this one. It says role node. Command is correct. There's something else setting. So okay, I got this. So basically this new version rule, no need to define that flag. I think without that it'll work. Yeah. So here let me uh, I'm just looking for it. Okay, so before that Java hyphen version. So mine is 17. Now let me check this particular jar file. Just now it ran, so there's no problem in it. So uh, Okay, let me just give me 2 seconds. Let me pause this.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what was missing? So the last warning, if you see, they were complaining the driver is not set in the path. Okay, earlier the error. So what I did, I went to my path environment variable, and the last two one which you see, the WebDriver location, I added it in the path. Okay, add in the path, close the command line, open a command line, and run the same command you see here. And now it is connecting to the local host, the grid. Okay, now if you have a, let's say it's a remote machine, then you have to add this flag. Okay, this is the remote machine, it can be different IP address. So now I have added one node to my grid. Can we see that? So here refresh, and here see, this is the one of the machine, one of the node which I am having. It has a Edge also, Chrome also, and so on, and Firefox also. No, it's just Chrome and Firefox. Did you understand that now?
What is the
All
eight
of you?
number eight?
This is the number of executor parallelly it will run. So that's by default concurrency 8. That means each browser will take 8 tests up to parallelly. Sorry.
That you can increase also, is it?
Yeah, setting is there to, I mean, node.json by default you can configure it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so now in this image, if you look at it, let me redo the things. So here earlier I got server, and now I run my node also. So here if you see, this server is also done, node is also done. Now code you have to send to the grid. So where is the code? So now let me show you the code. Same code, but let me remove the class file. Same code, but now it will send to the grid. Look at this here. Same code, okay. The You have a same code, but the only difference is, see here, this is a commented out, okay, mind it. So the only difference is this line. See here, you are sending to the grid, this is the hub address. That's the only difference. Earlier, if you remember, let me show you the old code. Earlier we were sending to the local only. See here, local grid, remote grid. Did you understand that? All of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So now I am going to same command, you'll have to run it. So let me copy paste the command. In this command, what is the code name? Example 2. I remove this one. So let me first compile it. This I'm doing one code, but through Maven you can do mass operation. Just because I wanted you to understand this theoretically how it works, so I'm showing this. So class file, you got it. Now I'm going to run that code, and remember that it's a Firefox, mind it. So I'm going to run this code, enter. So now Firefox should come up, and that same thing will happen. So now grid will do the work, not I will do that. But I'm on the same machine, node is on the same machine, grid in the same machine. So this is something which will happen. Now there is some different error, and the error is uh, timed out. Let Let me check if it is accessible. Hub is not accessible, it seems. Let me I rerun nothing. Let me refresh. It's accessible and node is running. So what is the problem? So let me look at the code. And let me check. I'm just checking everything. 192, 168, 1.14. Oh, say this is a 1.14. So this is wrong, right? 192, 168, 1.14, correct?
And
168,
also port
1.
is 555. It says
Which one?
port.
This is the node one. Just now added, no? This node, let me show you. This node has been added. So now this has been added on this one. So this is the node port. So here you are seeing in the hub, this is the hub. You are saying, see, added node. Where? This port number. Same machine actually. Both are same machine. Okay, let me change the code. My bad. Is an old IP address. 1.14. So 1 dot. I have to compile the code one more time. Port number is same 4444 and this will be same. So good to go. So I have to compile this code one more time. Compile done. Running. I'm doing it. Now it's good. So now we should open our Firefox now. Okay. And same activities will be done. Now I'm not this is not been done by WebDriver, but Grid is taking a call actually. You can refresh this place and you can see that see one session has come suddenly. See background you see my cursor refresh one session you see 13% utilizations out of it and now completed. Now you see the test failed. Why test failed? You know that the title and all kind of things. But this is how you can run this whole setup. See here. So this is the one test run. Complete details you have it and so on. The reports here you have, which is test failed. So now what is the benefit of grid? The benefit of grid is simple. You can run thousands of test cases, send it to the grid, and grid has their own nodes. They will do the testing and tell you this is pass or fail. Simple.
But it will
Understood now
execute
all
the
of it?
same test on all the nodes, right? Right? Like can we have different tests on different nodes? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can have a different this server theoretically, and the node will be in a different locations. But in my case, both I run in the same
No, no.
machines.
My question is the different tests can we run on different nodes?
Okay, this is a
Or that,
grid. So this guy will decide which is available and they will allocate it.
okay, we
Grid.
can. Okay,
It's a pool. You don't have to worry that because you set it up grid because of that purpose only. No, you send that code to the grid and grid will run as per their availability, and then you just need to worry about this one, right? This one.
okay. So if we have four different commands, can we send all the four commands at a time so that it will distribute all the four commands differently?
Oh, yeah, so that job will be that heavy lifting will be done by this guy. You
Okay,
send hundreds of code here, no problem. This guy will optimize in this node, all this thing. Got it? Okay, so now last question. What you are going to do as a DevOps engineer in the Selenium things? So guys, uh, to be honest, you might not do that automation coding and all this stuff, but you know why I taught you Selenium? Why? Because you might work with the testing team to integrate all this setup of grid and web drivers and all stuff like that in the CI server. So if you have a visibility how it works, so you can become a good DevOps engineer. You can say, okay, yeah, you have to set up this one here, you have to set up this one here. I know the little bit of it. So all this thing you should be comfortable with it. Any questions so far?
Have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.